All right, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Bears Film Room. My name is Dave, joined by Ficky. We cover the Bears for SM. Of course, we have another Saturday edition, Saturday pod for you. It's going to be Bears versus Packers for the first time this year, which is kind of crazy to be, week 14?
Well, technically the second time, if you count the calendar year. I think it's the first time in a while that the Bears, if they win, be the first time I think in like 30 years they beat the Packers twice in a row. Yeah.
I know it was some crazy number. Like over the last 17 games, they're like 15-2 or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's not great.
It is not great at all. But the Bears are playing the Bears they are playing the Packers really late in the season, which both teams are actually playing really, really well. I would say the Bears obviously 5 wins in a row. Packers just beat Dallas in a very, very comfortable fashion. They're 3 in a row. Yep. It's 2 hot teams, and this is for first place in the division. It's going to be war, man. That's what I can't like. All week I've been talking about this game, thinking about it. And I'm like, it's just going to be really a bloodbath. Like, it's in Lambeau. I don't think the Bears are going to. Obviously, we'll get to the breakdown of this game, but I think it's just going to be one of those like. Probably, obviously, it's obviously 3:25 time slot, so everyone's going to be watching. I think everyone outside of Arizona and maybe California are watching this game. That's what they're going to be tuning in for on Fox. But Fick, before we hop into the game preview, because this one's going to be a little bit different, we're going pretty in depth on Bears versus Packers this week because it's a playoff game in my opinion. Sure. It truly is. But how are you doing, man? How you feeling? How was your week?
Pretty good. Week's been good. Probably stayed out a little too late last night. Was at a little concert, but we're here, so that's all that matters. And look, it's Packers week. My girlfriend was asking me like, "How do you feel about the game tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm nervous as hell always." Like because of the main stat you just said, 15-2 in the last 17. I know we won the last one, which was also a nail biter against backup Malik Willis, but still, hats off to them. They did what they need to do. But I'm never confident going into a Packers game since basically Lovie Smith. I think Lovie Smith was the last head coach to actually have a winning record against the Packers during his coaching tenure. So is this team the best team primed to have an ability to beat the Packers? Absolutely. But there's not a single cell in my body that's like, oh yeah, this is an easy one. Like you said, this is about to be a game of war and attrition. And then not only that, right? Tonight is probably the biggest IU game I've ever seen in my life. Big Ten National Championship, Ohio State #1, IU #2. The first time in Big Ten history where the championship game has 2 undefeated teams. So I've got my nerves and anxiety are going to be on 100 for the next 2 days because it's like 2 of the biggest games that I could ever watch back to back. So hopefully I get at least one of those 1-1. I'll be happy. 2-0. I'm jumping through jumping out the building. 0-2, right. I'm probably going to be a little depressed little puppy, but that's where I'm at right now. All my happiness weighs in on 2 teams. But how about you? How's your weekend been? How's your week?
Week's been amazing. Like I said, I've been really thinking about this Bears game, and I'm just nervous because one, I want to beat this team because honestly, on socials, it's just some of these Packers, even reporters, are just so obnoxious, and it's like I understand that, and they have every right to be. I guess they dismiss the Bears. They've been very, very successful when it comes against, playing Chicago. To win this one, it would feel so different, and it would mark just a different, like you said, we've heard that, not the same old Bears, and I get that. And they really have not been this year. They're 9-3, but you want to really change the entire flip everything this rivalry upside down. You go into Lambeau, you beat them, continue to stay in first place, and you're 10-3. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm nervous because I just really want this one. And I think a lot of Bears fans probably relate to it. But overall, my week, other than that, putting up some Christmas lights later today, a little bit late on that. The Christmas tree's up. So super stoked. Going to try and take it easy on this Saturday, enjoy it because tomorrow is going to be, like I said, it's going to be fun. Yeah. But yeah, let's hop into this, Fick. Before we do, we're drinking our Even Coffee. Again, check them out. Code BFR for $5 off. Even Coffee, Chicago-based coffee shop, and supports mental health. It really doesn't get any better than this, guys. So we've been drinking it every Saturday morning. They have the single-serve pods that you can use. They're just amazing. Again, like I said, really, really great cause. One of my favorite partnerships is with Even Coffee. Links in the bio. Check them out. Fick, are we going to go ahead and start with the injury report?
Yeah, we definitely are. We definitely
this
do that.
one's
And I forgot to mention this too. Not only is tomorrow going to be nerve-wracking, I think I've told you one of my good friends here is a Packers fan. We're watching the game together here at my place. So it's
no. That's crazy.
It's going to be hell. So fun. All right, let's get to, speaking of hell, injury report like always. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. I will say though, for the first time, probably the best injury report we've had. I would say maybe last week's was a little bit better, but this one's not too bad. So taking a look at the injury report here, big ones to call out is we only have really 3 players that are out other than people that are on IR, like Luke Newman, backup guard, and then also obviously Tremaine Edmonds. But you have Tyreek Stevenson, who was out last week. He's out again this week with that hip. The one that, probably the biggest hit is Odunze. He's out with a foot, which was kind of expected. You have 2 DMPs in a row, probably not going to play. And that was in regards to his, I think he had a fracture in his foot that he's kind of been nursing for the past couple of weeks. So they finally, the coaches and the medical staff was probably like, hey, sit your butt down. We need you healed up, ready to go, for the back end, getting ready for the playoffs. So they said that's a week by week. Obviously he's not going on IR, but I'm expecting probably 1 or 2 games, but we'll see. Then go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. That's a tough one on Rome. We'll talk about a little bit more, but his production obviously has kind of slipped over the last few weeks, and it'll be interesting to know, I guess, when this actually happened.
Right.
But yeah, that one's tough. Bears, Packers. You'd love to see Rome out there, but keep going, Fick.
Yeah, no, that's obviously the biggest one. You want to see him out there for that matchup. And then Ruben Hippolyte's out with the shoulder. Limited though on Friday, so I'm expecting he'll probably be back next week, which is great. And I think maybe next week we'll get Tremaine back as well. So, and the good news though, right? Billings full from a concussion. Kind of surprising.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, especially in the NFL. Normally, you get concussed 1 week prior, you're out the next week. So
he's
good
playing,
to see that,
right?
Correct. Yeah,
I just don't understand. I don't get crazy. I thought it was a typo.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, but I mean, look, I trust him, so I don't think there's anything sketchy going on there. I think he tried to come back to the game last week, so maybe it wasn't.
And honestly, what's more important here, your health long term or playing the Packers? It's pretty simple, right? Easy choice.
Packers. Yeah, fuck your health. Like we need to get a dub this week. Obviously that's a joke, but TJ Edwards back. Huge. That is going to be big. Jalen Johnson, obviously full across. That's good to see. Kyle Monungai, though, who was DNP on Wednesday, he was full on Friday. So that's also great to see. Dom Robb, another concussion. I think he was out last week, but now he's back. So that's good to see. And then also a big one here, Noah Sewell, who is full. So we're getting TJ Edwards back and Noah Sewell back. So we don't have to live in dime and nickel packages throughout the whole game. But if we need to, hey, we've shown that it works. But overall, we lose Rome, but we get some guys back. It's the NFL. That's a pretty decent injury report. So how are you feeling about that, though?
I feel better than, what, when you lose, and I know some people might agree, Rome is wide receiver 1. I would say just in regards to how everything's schemed up, losing your wide receiver 1 against your division rival, a very, very good team of the Packers, I thought I would feel a little bit more like down. However, this is a Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, where we're going to see a little bit more of those guys, which I'm excited about. And I need Rome to get healthy because I think just over the last several weeks, we've seen his production slip, and playing with an injury like that, obviously his routes haven't been as crisp. His hands, obviously, there's been some questions there. So get healthy, especially if you could be right back for, Green Bay at home. I'm not going to overlook the Browns. That's going to be a tough one. And I would love to have him out there because he does other stuff outside just obviously making some catches. His blocking is really, really underrated. However, I'm excited to see some of these young rookies have a chance to go into Lambeau and make some noise, man. So Luther Burden, especially Zacchaeus, I know he's kind of been a little bit more up and down, but the Bears have so many playmakers that I'm like not worried. If this was last year, it would have been sick to my stomach.
Well, you know what the main difference is? We got a couple of new guys for weapons, but most of the weapons are kind of the same. The main thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have faith in the play caller, in the head coach. So, Rome's down. Okay, you know what? I feel good. Ben Johnson's going to find a way to scheme some other guys open.
Yeah.
And also, go ahead.
The run game.
Fantastic.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see against the Packers. I want to keep, obviously, Jordan Love and that offense off the field as much as possible. You're going to have to pass the ball, and I trust that Caleb and Ben are going to be on the same page, ready to go. But you're right, Fick. The trust in the play caller, the head coach, has never been higher. So
correct.
But yeah, Andrew Billings, I'm shocked. Like I said, that's one where I thought he was going to be missing this game, and that's where I got really worried with that Packers run game. Josh Jacobs and who is that other underrated?
Lloyd, but I think Lloyd's out now.
Not Lloyd. I just looked up his name.
Okay.
He's a very underrated, and he's kind of like Emmanuel Wilson.
Oh, Wilson. Yeah. Okay.
He reminds me of Josh Jacobs. He's 226, 5'10". He has 341 yards, 85 carries, 3 touchdowns. The interesting with the Packers running backs, with Josh Jacobs, one averages 4 yards a carry. The other, Josh Jacobs, averaged 3.9. So they don't have big play tendency. But like I said, with Billings being out, I was going to be worried that they were going to be able to run it through the interior of that defensive line. Mm-hmm. Now Billings is back. You got Grady Jarrett still playing. I feel really, that's probably out of everything, seeing Billings not having an injury designation was surprising, but man, I feel really a lot better going into this game.
No, that's definitely fair. And Packers, I wonder how differently. You're talking about like Andrew Billings being missed. I think their defensive tackle has been playing pretty well this year. He got injured last week, and I think he got put on IR, might be out the season. But let's take a look at their injury report here. So they have 3 questionable people. Jaden Reed, who I'm pretty sure, they got Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, their safety Javon Bullard, and then quarterback Nate Hobbs and lineman Brendan Cox Jr. But who they've ruled out is Savion Williams, who's basically like wide receiver 5, so I'm not worried about that. Running back Marshawn Lloyd, who's been out for a little bit. Their defensive lineman Lucas Van Ness, who's been kind of up and down throughout the year, but still a big piece. He's out. And then this is what I was talking about, Devontae White, who's played pretty well, their defensive tackle. He is officially out. And then Colin Oliver. So they've got, like 4 or 5 people out. Some of them have been out for a little bit, but their big one there is definitely on their defense.
Honestly, keep that up for me, Fick. Mm-hmm. Nate Hobbs, their corner.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Right.
Jaden Reed, I don't think he's played the last several weeks either.
He hasn't.
That would be interesting if he's out. You still worried?
I think he is out. I wonder if he's still on IR. He may have came off. I'm not sure.
Okay. But. Matthew Golden, Javon Bullard, their safety. Yeah, this is interesting. If all of these guys are out, or at least everyone but maybe just maybe one of those players at the top that are questionable, the Bears, like I said, are kind of getting some breaks here. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think they probably have bigger injuries, especially guys on IR. Like they already lost Tucker Kraft. He's out for the season. Elton Jenkins, great center for them, who's been a dominant center, since he's been in the league. He's on IR. And then Jane Reed looks like he's on IR. So they've got some big names that are kind of out. Now, saying that, I think I just tweeted this about the show before because I saw the data. The Bears lead the NFL in missed games due to injury with 240. So, I mean, sure, it's like they're catching a break, but the Bears have lost. The Bears have been the most injured team throughout the season.
But Jalen Johnson's back. He probably is a majority of those.
That's true.
Kyler Gordon, best nickel. Arguably, you could say the best corner in the NFC, Jalen Johnson's back. The best nickel in the NFC, Kyler Gordon is back. TJ Edwards, who I think was a Pro Bowler last year. He's missed a lot of time. He's back. Noah Sewell. However, man, am I crazy that I kind of want to see DeMarco Jackson?
He's been balling, bro.
Dude, he got the green dot on him, and he's just been unbelievable. And I like Noah Sewell. I just don't think he's as fast as Jackson. Anyways, I think we're still going to see a lot of
it's interesting. It's an interesting to see what they'll do there.
And dime packages. But yeah, some of those guys that the Bears have missed a lot of, they've had a lot of injuries, but some big names are back. Jalen Johnson and Kyler are one of the big ones. And then you get to pair that with CJ Gardner-Johnson, along with the 2 best safeties, arguably in the NFC. I mean, this duo of Brisker and Kevin Byard is just unreal. So I feel good, man. Really interesting to keep an eye on Sunday to see exactly who's ruled out for Green Bay, because a lot of those injuries are really going to play into favor of what the Bears are going to want to do, especially offensively.
Because most of their injuries are on the defensive side. And speaking of defense, there was a question here from Ricky Lentz on Twitter. Said, "You think JJ and Gordon will have full game rep now?" Sorry, you think JJ and Gordon will have full game reps now? Yeah, so, I think they played 50%. Last week, right?
JJ only played 33%.
Okay, I think Kyler.
So he is going to be up. And then Gordon, you saw CJ Gardner-Johnson kind of still take some of those reps in nickel. And so. Absolutely. I don't know if it's going to be full game.
Probably not.
But you would think it's going to be a lot. But they were probably aiming for this game as far as like getting back to it. So they were already a week ahead when it came to the Eagles. So we'll have to see. I bet adrenaline's going to play a part.
I would expect JJ's probably playing like 70 or above. I would hope. I'm thinking double. Yeah. Double. He may not be everyone, but he's going to be in there, especially on those late third downs. So. Yeah, I mean, look, this is what back-to-back weeks now where it's like, oh my gosh, the injuries aren't like, it's not a book long and we actually have a chance, or the team has about the same amount of injuries or impactful injuries as we do. So I think that was what we were looking for earlier in the season, was like getting healthy on the back end, and we're finally starting to do that. So fingers crossed we can keep that momentum going and have kind of that good luck injury gods on our side moving to the final back half of the season. Cool. I think we did have a super chat here from our man Tito. Said Tito, $2 here on YouTube. Appreciate that, Tito. He said, "When is the Zoom call? I need to talk Bears, baby." Great question. Zoom call is tomorrow. If you're in our Discord or on the Patreon, we post the stuff on there, the links and all that. So you will see it there. But it is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Central time, I believe is what it is. So we'll see you there. Again, check the Discord if you're not in there, link in the description. Also, I'll make sure to repost on the Patreon so everyone has the link there as well. And if you want a chance to get in there, if you want to join the Patreon, you can do that as well. We'll talk about that in our ad read. But if you want to get in there before, you will have a chance to have a call with Dave and I tomorrow and the rest of the Hall of Fame Grizzly members, which we appreciate all of y'all. So all right, speaking of that, before we get into the game, let's go ahead and get to our first break. First off, thank you for watching the BFR Podcast, the number one show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you've watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the number one show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR Podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself. All right. What we've all been waiting for. Yeah, right. What we've all been waiting for, man, this game matchup. Man, this is crazy because I think, and we'll get to it obviously, but I think this is probably the closest we've ever been, like, to the footballs, to the Packers. Like, typically it's very one-sided where they have like 500 and we have 0. But I was actually kind of hopeful a little bit. Obviously, we'll get to our predictions at the end, but look at this. Not too bad. 17-14. I will definitely take that. And like we talk about, this is any given Sunday. Anybody can beat anybody in the NFL. And we've seen that because actually the Packers have lost to like the Panthers. So anyone can beat anyone. But this is probably the most favorable situation the Bears have been in, playing their best ball that we've seen in a minute. And that's why they're 9-3. But let's talk about the Bears for a second here. The only really difference that we've seen from the past 3 weeks is they gained a football on their pass defense, which is actually makes sense. I wonder how that happened. How did they get better in their pass defense? Well, Dave, you just talked about it. JJ and Kyler Gordon back has been huge from all the advanced metrics, even just passing the eye test. You could tell that defense looked better with having 2 of its stars back on that side of the field. So that's great to see. Again, with us, the offense, passing's very boom or bust, very explosive plays. Caleb makes plays when it matters the most in the clutch. But of course, Caleb misses all the easy stuff. I think Kurt Warner dropped a video on that literally this morning or maybe yesterday, talking about like, yeah, if you want Caleb to make a big play, that's your guy. But he's if they want to be a really successful contender or a potential contender, he's got to hit those easy throws. And I think we've seen that throughout the season. So that's why the passing is not exactly where it needs to be. And Ben Johnson also harped on that this week, right? They got to work on that. But what has worked for this team, as everyone knows, if you have watched any single game of the Bears, or even if you just watched last week versus the Eagles, this run game is no joke. People thought when you brought in Ben Johnson, you're getting this pass-heavy, mastermind, trick play type of guy. And you are. You've seen that. But you know why the offense was so good in Detroit for the past 3 years and why Ben Johnson was that guy? It's because they ran the ball so well in Detroit. And I think people forgot that is the base and the foundation of this Bears offense, and we're seeing it come to fruition this season. It's actually awesome to watch. Okay, we know about the Bears, though, but how about those dirty guys over in Lambeau? Well, they're pretty freaking good. Their offense is pretty elite, and Jordan Love just came off his best game of his career last week. Who was that against? Was that Dallas where he dropped 4 touchdowns? No turnovers? Dallas. Yeah, so went crazy in that game. Basically had a perfect rating, played beautiful. I mean, first off, his wide receivers helped.
He made some big-time throws.
Big-time throws. What is that?
Big-time downs.
Yeah, a couple, 3 for 3 on 4th downs, and one of them sealed the game. Crazy. But yeah, that's why their passing's up there. They're a top 5 passing unit. They've been pretty good. Rushing has been okay, not as good as what you would think, but their passing has been so fantastic that it doesn't matter. Blocking's been middle of the pack, but like I said, they've had a lot of injuries. I think their left tackle's been out. Obviously Jenkins has been out. Really, their only great offensive lineman is their right tackle, Zach Tom, who's been playing pretty good. So we'll see how that works out. But I would actually say, not only are they top 5 in offense, they're a top 10 defense. This might be one of the best defenses this Bears unit's going to go against. Obviously, we know about Micah Parsons. Yeah. Pass rush is immaculate. Run, not the best in the run game, but it doesn't matter when the dude gets basically guaranteed 12 sacks a season. Go ahead.
Sorry, they played Detroit, not Dallas.
Oh, Dallas, yeah, Detroit.
Even honestly, might be even more impressive with what they did against Detroit.
No, that's a good call.
I thought it was Dallas.
They played Dallas though already, right? I'm pretty sure they did. So
they tied.
Was that the tie? Was Dallas? So. It was earlier in the season. Yeah, good call. Basically a loss. But
Detroit played Dallas on Thursday.
On the defensive side of the ball, though, I'd say they obviously Nate Hobbs, that's a big one if he's out. But their passing defense has actually been good from their safeties. So obviously Xavier McKinney, one of the best safeties in the league.
I wanted him.
Been pretty good on that end. And then also their corners have been iffy, but I would say their linebackers have been pretty strong. So
I think the Bears and Packers have probably 2 of the best safety duos in the NFL.
I would agree. They're pretty good.
If you want to watch great safety play, those 2. And they all bring a little bit of, obviously Kevin Byard is like a center fielder, ball hawk. Brisker too, but he just doesn't get as many picks. Byard obviously plays like that center field role, but Brisker's the physical, dude, it's really been good to see him this year where he's been able to stay healthy, knock on wood here, but just the physicality that he plays with, he just punishes like ball carriers. You catch it, sure, that's great, but you're going to feel it, and he's a really good tackler, blitzes too. Just really elite level safety play across the board from both teams. So.
Yeah, definitely the strengths of their defense. I will say their defense is it's the Bears with a better pass rush because our linebackers are a pretty strong unit when they're healthy. Their linebackers like Cooper, Quay Walker, pretty strong unit. Their safeties are good. Our safeties are good. But the biggest difference is they have Micah Parsons. So we don't. And they have also Rashawn Gary, and that's more of like a Montez Sweat comparison. So
Vic, they're just a better defense. I feel confident that Ben and this coaching staff is going to be prepared to stop Micah. The thing is, he's going to get he's probably going to get a sack, maybe 2. Question. Just it can't be catastrophic. Yeah. Like the one that TJ Watt got. It can't be those type of plays where you're driving strip sack or something, worse. I guess I don't know what could be worse, maybe interception, pick 6. I don't know. But for me, I feel confident. I want to ask you, don't you kind of feel that we can game plan and kind of at least limit him where, he's going to make a play or 2, but it's not going to be game changing, if that makes sense. It might stall a drive though.
Yes. but he's so good. Like
he's unbelievable.
You can only do so much. You know what I mean? Like
he's unbelievable.
I agree. I have faith that Ben Johnson will do his best to limit him, but he's a game wrecker for a reason.
I'm nervous about Ozzy.
First edge to have to start off his career with 12 sacks each of his 4 seasons. Like he's having a career.
It's Reggie White.
That's never been done. Yeah. In the same colors too, which sucks. So yeah, like Ben Johnson's going to do his best. I don't think Ben Johnson's going to be like, hey, Ozzy, you have Micah Parsons one-on-one. I'm not going to do anything to help there, but it still doesn't mean he's not going to make plays.
Micah lines up. He goes across the center, interior defensive lineman.
He plays tackle,
right, left,
tackle, edge.
I'm excited to see him and Darnell Wright, but yeah, Ozzy kind of scares me because Ozzy last week, you saw kind of how he was a little slower. Well, the problem here is it's like a lightning quick. He's so fast, and Ozzy was having issues last week where he wasn't perfect, no, and he's a rookie. But damn, it's going to be like it's not even like a tier. It's like 2 tiers above of what he's ever played against in the NFL.
Oh, this is the best competition
Micah Parsons. And so, but Ben and company are going to realize this. So Colston, 13 personnel.
Chip, please. Chip.
Kyle Manungai, who's been, shout out to him. He's been so underrated in the pass protection, pass pro. Swift, a little bit better too. But yeah, Parsons worries the shit out of me. But I do feel confident too. It's like it's a mix here. Every day's a little different, I guess.
I don't think he's going to go off for like 3 sacks or 4 sacks. Ben Johnson's not going to his scheme alone is going to try to take him out of the game. But am I confident he's going to walk away with 0 sacks or not having pressures that disrupt Caleb or things like that? Absolutely not. I will say, though, Caleb is probably one of the best or up there with the sack avoidance. So there might be a time where, hey, Parsons does his thing and somehow Caleb slips off him like butter, like he's done with some of these, great edges he did that to TJ Watt. TJ Watt obviously got him, but he also avoided one of his. So if you can avoid TJ Watt, I'm sure you can avoid some other guys. So it'll be interesting to see. Overall, this is going to be the toughest test from a defensive line standpoint for the Bears offensive line. Like I would say probably the next was the Vikings, but when they played the Vikings the second time, some of their edge players were out, so it wasn't the same. But going against Micah is going to be crazy. So what do we have here? I'm muted. There you go.
I want to share this video here of Micah Parsons imitating. He's doing what the Steelers did when they had they brought in a backup quarterback. I forgot his name, but this is a couple days ago. I think Micah Parsons is playing the Caleb Williams role. Yeah, practicing scrambling around. What? Oh, no, yeah.
Like, shout to Rod. I think he commented on this earlier. So,
and before we get to this, he also had basically, I guess it was a press conference. They were asking him about it. He's like, yeah, I don't like the Bears. It just felt so forced, but it almost reminds me of like Michael Jordan, where he would make up stuff to kind of get himself ready. And that scares me too. Cause it's like, yeah, sure. It might sound like Parsons is rambling and he's making it up, but it's like, he's actually going to fuel himself where it's like, yeah, they don't respect me. Even though Ben Johnson's like, yeah, this is probably the best defense we've played against all season.
We played Micah like twice in his career, like the Bears.
Said that 2 years ago, and he's but that's the thing that scares me, because he's like, yeah, Caleb Williams, he's competent, but all of a sudden you see him in this different mindset where it's like, that's what elite, the best of the best, the greatest of all time type athletes do, where they just make shit up and then they go off. So we'll see what that looks like. But this was very, very interesting where Micah's imitating.
Not as fast. Sorry, just gonna say it.
Caleb or as agile.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Of course, I'm sure Micah Parsons is like 30, 40 pounds heavier than Caleb. So, but that is kind of funny.
What I like to see is they are so like. Do you see him? Watch the ball right here. So do you see how he's like? He has it like really too close, but right here you see him like kind of. That ball is right over there. He's kind of like holding it with that one hand like Caleb does. And that's what always worries me with Caleb is like, I just don't want, I like that he's so elusive, but he kind of has, he leaves the ball out similar to that TJ Watt's sack where if you hit it, even if you hit the arm, like right here, that ball it's the likelihood of it coming out is a lot more probable. And then you see here.
I agree, but I don't think he's fumbled that much this year, has he? Has he?
No, that's what I'm saying. But you can see like how he's holding the ball, Micah Parsons right there. Yeah.
It's
the problem is, Vic,
Vic,
he hasn't fumbled a lot because obviously the defense has to get to him. But if they do, like we saw with TJ Watt, that ball is coming out.
Yeah, he hasn't been hit much in general, so that's probably
why. Even when he's running to the sideline, right, where he's kind of high stepping it and that ball is like out there, all it takes is for him he slows up sometimes, like Mahomes, where if someone's coming from behind or he just doesn't see it from the peripheral, that ball can get swiped at. And so I just get worried. I've always been worried all season. Now he's done a really, really good job. The TJ Watt, I was like, okay, we're kind of due for something like that. But it is fun to see. This is now the second team. The Steelers did it first. Now we got Micah, at least on video, imitating Caleb Williams and it's elite, man. The way that he can avoid sacks, it's elite. And he's probably, it's safe to say he's the best NFL at it right now.
For sure. And I looked it up. He's fumbled 6 times, but he has definitely not lost that many. I think maybe he's lost 1 or 2. So, but yeah, I mean, look, that's the name of the game nowadays too with these edge players, right? A lot of times it's not don't smash the quarterback. First of all, a lot of times you'll get a penalty. Is get that strip sack in there. And we've seen it with Montez, right? Montez, 3 of his sacks have been forced fumbles, and it's not like he, obliterated the quarterback. He just swiped his arm. So we'll have to see what happens. Of course, like you said, you got to get to him. But if there's one person that could get to him, it's probably freaking Micah Parsons. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out. That's obviously going to be a big one that we have to a matchup, which we'll get to our key matchups here. But
and the thing with Micah is he hasn't played a quarterback like Caleb. Yeah, at least this season. Like, I don't think they played the Ravens yet. And even then, I would say Caleb's he's just better at this. The ability to kind of evade. It's something that teams just are not prepared for. And Micah is probably the best at possibly countering that. Yeah. So we'll see. The best of the best. See what happens.
It's gonna be an interesting one. It's funny because we're gonna get to our key matchups here after this read, but neither of us had that on there. But that's kind of a big key matchup, and I think it's the obvious: is can you contain or limit?
Mine's on there.
Micah Parsons,
kind of.
You'll see it. Kind of. But I was like, oh, not just like straight Micah Parsons. It's pretty obvious. You gotta contain that guy in some sort of way, but. A bit easier said than done. So good luck, Ben Johnson. But we're going to get to our key matchups here and go more in depth, but we're going to hit our ad break here. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR Podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Shout out to all of y'all. I know we had a new Patreon member, which we'll give a shout out to here at the end of the show. And of course, like we said, we got our Zoom call, which we're so excited about. We do those monthly. So if you still want to hop in and get a chance, you can go ahead and join using the link in the description. So we appreciate all the love and support from all of y'all. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's continue on. Let's go ahead and take what the odds are. Let's look what Vegas thinks of this game, which I thought was a little interesting. Just to preface here, last week against the Eagles, they had the Bears at +7, and we both agreed that was pretty high. Well, we beat the Eagles. And this week, they're like 6.5. I'm like, Jesus, there's no one thinks we can do anything. I mean, look, I get if you think the Packers can win. I think that's fair. Vegas would think that. But, like, 7's a lot in the NFL. So they have us basically at 6.5, over under 44.5, which, kind of makes sense because it's going to be a cold-ass game. And the money line, Chicago 250. Again, we don't bet on these games. We have enough anxiety and, nerves when we watch this. But if there was a bet you were going to make, Dave, what would you go with out of these three? I don't really like any of them. I'm going to be honest.
I think the Bears cover.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a close game.
Okay. Actually, no, that's fair. At 6.5.
Right? 6.5 is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, look at last year. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, looking at our score predictions, where both of ours are within 7. So,
well, look back to last year where these teams are different, Vic, and it was still close. The Packers should have lost both in reality. So, I think this is a close one. I get that it's in Lambeau. But this is a playoff game, and playoff games are typically, it's very rare that there's a blowout. I think both teams are going to be throwing punches. I will just see how this one plays out. But 6.5 is kind of crazy. Especially when you just went into Philly and beat the Super Bowl champs in a very dominating fashion.
Yeah, with a +7 on that one. So I agree. We both have within 6. That's a good point. Excuse me. Last year's games were determined both on game-ending field goals. So if that continues, yeah, 6.5 is a lot. Now it is in Lambeau.
I saw a comment on the YouTube comments. I can't remember who, but shout out to whoever said this. The Packers acquiring Micah Parsons, reminds me of the Mac trade. Does that mean they get a double doink of their own? And wouldn't it be nice to get one this week? Yeah,
I would love it. Anyone that gets a doink of a field goal is always happy to me. When it's not us, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a great comment there. Okay, let's get to the key matchups. Like, if the Bears are going to win, how are they going to do it, right? And some of these are, even following the team, a lot of these are kind of obvious, but this one's big. Bears run game, which has been fantastic, versus the Packers run defense, which has been serviceable. It's not their strongest feat, but it's not been bad. They're like top 15. Now they have some injuries, which we talked about, like Devontae Wyatt being out. That's going to be huge. But can the Bears continue on the streak they've had? They're top 5 in almost every metric for rushing, right? Whether it's yards a game, EPA per play, yards before contact, yards after contact. Ben Johnson has schemed up, and Ryan Poles has brought in a fantastic unit, and they're playing well. So can they keep that going? Because if the run game goes to shit and then you're relying just on Caleb, I don't think there's a way you can win. Not that Caleb can't, but that is definitely not the easiest way or the most efficient way to walk away out of Lambeau with the W. So that's going to be a big one for me. Of course, it's the trenches. I always love to talk about that. What's your thoughts on that? Do you feel obviously yours is kind of in the same boat, maybe on the other side, but do you think they'll keep that hot streak going?
The Packers have a huge injury to one of their defensive linemen.
Devontae Wyatt. Yeah, he's out.
Probably their best one, right?
Yeah. Well, run game for sure.
In the run game. So I feel good about Chicago right now. I truly do, especially with those 5 guys up front and what Ben Johnson is able to do in 12 and 13 personnel. So I'm with you. That's a key matchup. If the Bears can get this run game going like they did last week and keep the Packers offense off the field, you control the game, you control the time of possession. As long as you're converting those long drives into 7 and not 3, the Bears have a really good opportunity here to kind of replicate what they did last week on the road against Philly and do it in Lambeau. So especially with that injury.
Absolutely. Well, your matchup is going to be a key part of that as well. So,
yep. This is the opposite side of the ball. I think getting pressure, creating pressures against the Packers O-line, and really just making Jordan Love uncomfortable, because I hate to say it, but man, when you give him time, he's a pretty lethal quarterback. And so if you can get some pressure on him, I think that's where mistakes happen. So Montez Sweat, Austin Booker, Andrew Billings, honestly, Grady Jarrett, he doesn't have a sack all year. Get a little bit more out of him. Make a play. Make this guy uncomfortable back there, because that's where he's prone to mistakes. And that's where I think this Bears D-line against the Packers O-line, where we talked about some of their injuries they have. They have some players you can exploit there. I want to see the Bears do it this week. So
yeah, No,
But
it's definitely going to be one in the trenches.
We have a first round edge rusher, Fick, to pair with Montez Sweat.
Oh, come on, next year?
I'm just saying after the draft because we're taking an edge in the first round.
You know what's funny? You know
what an edge draft class it is.
I think Dane Brugler, who's like obviously a very trusted big source, one of my favorites to follow for the draft. Yeah, Dane Brugler, I think his top 50 players, I think it's like out of the 50, I think there's like 12 or 13 edge. So it's a very edge heavy class, which is great. Every round, huh? Just keep
just their first two picks. Let's get to the damn quarterback next year. Like relentlessly.
I think it's favorable for us in this upcoming draft. I know that's far down the road, but that is something we're definitely going to have to look at there. So, but yeah, I think the game's going to come to the trenches. This is December football in the NFL, right? Playing outdoors, which the Bears are doing for the rest of the season. The run game is important. Passing is harder. You see that in the playoffs as well. A lot of times teams become a little bit more run heavy and defenses show up. So the trenches are going to be key. And I feel good about the offensive side of the trenches, the defensive side of the trenches. That's where more of the question marks are. But they're not going against like the best offensive line because the Packers have had some injuries, but they have some good players on there. So we'll see. They can get at them. I will say, though, you said Jordan Love's been good. Jordan Love's been good when he's not pressured, like a clean pocket. I think that's underselling a little bit and not saying you were wrong. I think he's been great. I think PFF has him as the number one graded quarterback when he has a clean pocket. And some other advanced metrics kind of back that up, like where he's top 5 in almost every category. So if you don't get to Jordan Love and you give him enough time, like you said, he's going to dot you up. And he's hot and cold at times, but when it comes to his accuracy, that ball, I mean, Jordan Love can throw the ball where it needs to go. And we saw that last week against Detroit. Some beautiful throws, right? Normally Jordan Love's downfall is his decision-making, but not his accuracy. So you give him time and he can see someone, enough time where someone gets schemed open, LaFleur gets someone open, which he's good at doing. He's going to deliver the ball where it needs to go. So I agree with you there. You have got to figure out a way to get to him. Luckily, I'm pretty sure Dennis Allen has the 13th highest blitz rate in the NFL currently. So which we've seen, right? He'll send exotic blitzes and things like that. So no matter what, you'll get some sort of pressure. Hopefully that rate's high enough to where Jordan Love is affected enough to where, something good or favorable can happen to the Bears. But I agree. You let him sit back there, we're going to be fucked is the way to put it bluntly. So, all right, let's get to the keys of the game here. We kind of talked about some of these. On my end, force a J Love interception. I think Danny Parkins talked about this. Shout to him for providing the stat on FS1. He said Jordan Love, when he doesn't throw an interception, is basically like undefeated. But when he throws an interception, I think he's like 1-3-1. So he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. J Love does not turn the ball over much. In the past 2 seasons, I think he has like under 10 turnovers total. So this is definitely a hard task. But what we've shown with this Bears defense as well, you get 2+ turnovers, they're undefeated. They're 7-0 when they get 2+ turnovers. So if you can get an interception, I'm feeling much more confident about the Bears walking away with a win. But that's very hard to do against this quarterback. You talked about this one, get pressure on J Love. I'm not going to have to go over that again. That's kind of obvious. But a big one here, it was better last week against Philly. But it's been kind of the crux of this offense is the red zone efficiency. They get down there, but they can't convert 3 to 7, and they need to do that if they want a chance to beat this team because this is a really good team. So those are my 3 takeaways. Let's get to yours here because I think yours are very similar as well.
Yeah, they for me, I like what you said, Vic. It's hard because the Bears have to excel in so many ways to win this game. So a lot of keys, a lot of things they have to do right. Mine were play with a lead early. I think you're on the road. It's always best when you can get to a 7-point lead, 10-point lead. And like I said, time of possessions can be huge there. Next, get 2+ takeaways. This Bears team has not lost, right? When they've gotten 2+ takeaways this year. So if they can somehow manufacture 2 of those, whether it's a strip sack and interception, however you have to do it, and then run it down their throats. This is, like I said, that injury to the middle of the defensive line for the Packers is huge. I think if you can, it's almost, I hate to say replicate the same game plan. Honestly, that's how you're going to have to do it to beat this team, to keep them off the field. And when you play in December, this is the type of football that that wins games. This is the type of football that translates to playoff runs. So Caleb, he needs to be more accurate when he's asked to pass the ball. Last week, he made a great throw to Caleb, or to Komet, to basically, it was the kill shot. For me, though, you talked about Kurt Warner. I watched his breakdown. His next step, his next evolution, where the Bears, if they're going to be lethal, is you pair this run game with Caleb, who can be accurate and hit the easy ones. Of course, he can hit the big ones when you need it. But if he can somehow just bump his completion percentage to 70%, or I'm sorry, 65%. Let's start there. It's going to be crazy. Get the ball to Luther Burden. Get the ball to your playmakers. You can't miss some of these easy ones that the Bears have been missing of late. And so, what are you doing, Vic?
Sorry, my settings went out.
No, you're good. Anyways,
my headphones went out, so I can't hear. That's my bad.
I was wondering, man, I'm making some good points. You ain't saying nothing. No, I think the Bears have a really good opportunity here to replicate what they did last week against Philly, and we'll go from there. So,
all right, that's good. I'm not gonna lie, I did not hear any of that because my headphones went out. But we're gonna go to our ad read here.
Let me go to the
ad read here. I'm gonna try to figure out how I can get audio. So fun. All right, before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff, and we're always working on new creative designs. Maybe jerseys coming. Yeah, who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time. And we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to the BFRstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. All right, say something. I want to make sure I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't, which is not fun. But I felt like I could hear myself on that last ad read. But we'll figure this out. But yeah, if we actually dropped some new merch in the BFR store on the link in the description, some fire shirts, hats, all different types of stuff. We also have like new hoodie, which is fire. And then we also have like a new crew neck sweatshirt as well. So if you want to go to the BFRstore.com, also update the website. Looks a lot cleaner now. But if you want to go to there, there's a bunch of great stuff, especially getting ready for this winter times. We know it's cold as hell in Chicago and across the nation. So if you want to get some stuff for your family, Christmas is coming up, get some stuff for your friends, whoever it may be, you can do that. And all the proceeds from the store just go back into the show so we can keep giving y'all fire value because that's what we are here for. Cool.
Okay.
All right, let's get to bold takes. Now, David, this was the first time in a minute where both our bold takes hit, like within the first quarter. So it's kind of crazy. So let's take a look here and where we're at. So the bold takes, not great still on the record-wise. I mean, we're clawing our way back up surely and slowly. But 4-8 for you, 5-7 for me. It can be anyone's game at this point. Last week, I think it was, I said Caleb was going to have one turnover, and he threw that interception on the screen pass. And then you said the rushing was 160, and they had that basically in quarter one. So we kind of knocked those out pretty quickly. Walked away with the dub, so I'm happy about that. This one, though, normally I'm pretty positive with the bold takes. I'm not on this one. So unfortunately, I have Caleb under 200 passing yards. And why I say that is not necessarily because he's going to be playing bad, but the conditions, how well this running game has been on the road, I don't know, like 18-degree weather, it's hard to get, he's not going off for 300. I can tell you that much. And if he is going for 300, that means they're probably down by a lot of scores. So they're passing a lot, which would not be favorable. But I have Caleb going under 200 passing yards, which I think he's done twice this season. So it's kind of bold, but it's not something you'd want to see. Hopefully I'm wrong. This is one of the first ones where I'm like, hey, I want to be completely wrong here. But that's kind of my bold take. Yours, though, this is kind of bold, especially on the track record and the trending, the way his stats and games have been trending recently. This is a pretty big, bold one. So how about you speak on that?
Yeah, I'm just speaking this one into existence. I think this is the game where we see Caleb Williams at his best. He's going to deliver when the team needs him to. Some easy manufactured throws probably, but I think he hits that 70% completion mark for the first time, I think, this year. And what a time to do it. So that's my bold take for this week against the Packers. We'll see.
Cool. All right, sorry about that. Let's see here. Okay,
can you not hear me?
70% is actually crazy though. I don't think has he done that this season?
No.
Yeah, which is sad. I think he's had 3 games where he's been under 50%, and I think he was dead. I think he's 33rd, Dave, in the NFL for completion rate, which is crazy to think about. You're 9-3 as the Chicago Bears team, and your quarterback has an under 50%. So that's kind of crazy. Okay, let's keep going here. We have the score predictions. Now, this one, Dave, you're making a comeback here because we went different last week. So happy I was wrong. You predicted the Bears were going to beat the Eagles. I predicted the Eagles were going to beat the Bears, and I was wrong, and I can get thrown in my face. I'm so happy for it because I'll take a Bears win over me being right any day of the year. But you can see here 7-5 and 8-4. Pretty good, both above 500 for predictions. So I would say we know this team pretty well. But we're different again this week. I am being a Debbie Downer. I have the Packers 27, the Bears 24. I think they play well and that they show that they are a playoff team, but it's just very hard for me to pick the Bears against a super hot. Well, first off, Bears against Packers. We talked about that 15-2 in their last 17. Not great. Okay. Even though they did win the last one, but Jordan Love, it was kind of a meaningless game for the Packers, and Jordan Love didn't even play the whole game. Secondly, this team is balling out. Like the Packers are playing really well. They've won 3 straight. I know we have as well, but this is definitely probably the biggest matchup when I'd say strength to strength, like both teams actually being good. Typically what happens is, as we know, the Packers are typically the better team. The Bears suck. They play each other. Packers win to no surprise. Or you go back where like the Packers are having a down year. Some of Aaron Rodgers, like he had like one or 3 seasons sprinkled in where like the Packers didn't look great. And that was like the only time the Bears were able to like sneak one win away. Or you go all the way back to the Lovie Smith era where the Bears had like that 3-season year where they were just better than the Packers and they won. There hasn't been really like an even or fair matchup. And I think this might be the first one in a long time. Maybe 2018, to be honest, because the Packers they didn't make the playoffs that year actually, because we beat them in weeks 8 and 17 and knocked them out. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. 27-24, I think it's going to be a nail biter, which I hate for our mental health. But again, I'll be so happy to be wrong here. But you, my friend, you picked them differently. What you got?
I struggled with this one, Fick. I almost picked the Packers, but man, there's something different where this Bears team continues to prove me wrong. And now I believe in this team. I believe in Ben Johnson. And this is the statement win. We talked about Philly being a statement win. No, you go into Green Bay, Lambeau, and you win. That's changing the entire identity, and it's turning everything upside down when it comes to the Bears versus Packers rivalry. It would you beat the Packers this week, it would mark the beginning of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams in this era of football. Because like I said, everything they're doing right so far. They went into Philly. They're winning these games, the close ones. But the last thing they need to do, and they did it already this year. You're right. They went into Lambeau, but it wasn't Ben Johnson. So for me, don't let me down, Chicago. That's what I'm trying to say here, because I can't pick the Packers. I can't pick the Bears to beat the Packers typically, and I feel very foolish picking the Bears to win this one. But there's something that they've continued to do. Like I said, they've proved me wrong time and time again this year. So I'm believing in them, man.
Look, I'm happy, man. I've never been the most confident that the Bears can beat the Packers. So let me put that there. I'm not like me picking the Packers to win doesn't mean I don't think the Bears stand a chance. They can beat this team. Yeah. It's just hard.
With your score being that close, it could go either way.
For sure. So, I think it's gonna be closer than obviously what Vegas says. But I just think it's hard because the Packers are playing really well. What version of the Packers are you gonna get? Because they have 3 losses, right? And those 3 losses are all against teams they shouldn't have lost to, in my opinion. They lost against like the Panthers. They tied against Dallas, like teams that were not good. So are you going to get the 8-win Packers who look dominant? Like when the Packers are playing well, they look like a Super Bowl contender. Or are you going to get the bad version of the Packers?
But Fick, even if they are the Super Bowl contender, the Bears can play with them. That's how I truly feel. So
for sure.
That's what's exciting. Also, Ryan Reeves, shout out to him. Iceman in 18-degree weather. I'm rocking with Dave. I love that. Iceman, I love that nickname too.
Also, that's our new Patreon member as well. So shout out to Ryan Reeves. Appreciate that. Welcome to
Mr. Reeves.
Keanu
Reeves. Also, I want to get to this one.
Sorry.
Vic. $50 super chat.
Oh my gosh. That may have been the biggest. Is that the biggest super chat we've ever had?
I think we had 500K a couple shows ago.
Yeah, right. So who's stopping that one?
No,
bro?
Absolutely. Jenga Renga, like that name with the 50. Happy holidays, fellas. Was waiting a game to support the show. Feels like the right game. FGB.
Jenga
First
Renga.
of all, Jenga, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. Like thank you so much, whatever gender it is. But we appreciate that. All the money and support. Like, you guys don't have to do that, but we literally take all of that and just try to keep making, merch and, make the Patreon better, the Discord, upping it, giving it more features. We really just take all that money and try to give more value back to y'all. Because again, we appreciate you doing it, but this is the Bears Film Room Podcast, which is number one show for the fans, by the fans. And because of donations like this, we're able to give value back to y'all fans, because Dave and I are fans like y'all. And so we just want to make sure you guys have a great experience watching these games like we do. So we really do appreciate the support, Jenga. Thank you.
Absolutely. And again, if you don't want to support us, with super chats, just hit that like button, subscribe to the show, tell a friend, tell a Bears fan. We appreciate it. But Jenga, hope you enjoy your Saturday, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Enjoy your Saturday.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy the Bears game tomorrow. Hopefully we get a really good outcome. And again, appreciate the support really from all of you. We're almost at 12,000 subs.
You guys are awesome.
Week 2, week 3, we're talking about we're about to hit 10K. You guys have helped us grow a ton, so we appreciate it. Let's keep it moving though. What we got next, Vic?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, shout out to all of y'all. Y'all have been fantastic. Oh, there's some comments here. I love this. You should love this one too. From Plastic Rockets, OG of the show, said number 18's undefeated in Green Bay. Small sample size, but guess what? We'll take it. He's also undefeated in 2025. There's another one here I thought that was good. Man. I think Cornell Bryan says the Packers haven't played well at home, so they played better on the road.
They are 4-2, I believe.
That's still good, but obviously, 4-2.
We'll see.
That means they're 5-1-1 on the road. So
they haven't played the Bears at home. So
that's true.
We'll see.
That's true. It should be an interesting one. So yeah, it's Packers week, man. It gets me every time. I get up and then I get pulled down. Hopefully, again,
I'm waiting to talk. Trash. I haven't talked trash to anything. I haven't quote tweeted any Packers. I have a lot of bookmarks, and I swear to God, if the Bears win this game for about a week, I'm gonna be.
Flame.
I'm going to be blocked by so many Packers people.
Yeah, I love it. I always do the update question mark. It's a bookmark them and then quote.
Oh, yeah.
Later. So it's good. We love the rivalry. Bears-Packers week. No, biggest rivalry in the NFL. One of the biggest rivalry in all sports. One of the longest rivalries in all sports. So this is definitely a big week. It's exciting. The players talked about it. Coaches talked about it. This means something. Yeah. Dave, you said this is basically a playoff game, and it kind of is. It's giving those vibes. So I hope I'm wrong. Either way, we both have this as a nail biter either way. So make sure you have your heart medication near you when you're watching this one, because it's probably going to be a tough one on our emotions. So, all right, let's get to the headlines here. We do have some voicemails that we didn't get to from last show. So we'll make sure to play those from reactions from last week's game. And then we'll give our shout outs like we always do and end the show. But let's get to the headlines here. I hate that I made this one for multiple reasons. First of all, the pun. I have to, but pack it up. And when I say pack it up, it's not because of the NFL season. It's not your playoff hopes. It's just looking at the NFC title, right? The NFC North title. If you lose this game, it's going to be very hard for you to win the NFC North, okay? Doesn't mean you can't make the playoffs. You still have a pretty good chance. You're in the driver's seat. But if you lose this game, the NFC North is probably going through Lambeau like it does most years, which is unfortunate. And I hope I'm so wrong. I do not want to see this. I need to pack up my headlines, to be honest, but that's what I have. Dave, what about you on your Monday headlines here? Muted.
Yep. What I have. Hey, sometimes I just got to take a second to think here.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I'm kidding. Sometimes I can't get to the mute button fast enough. I don't want you guys hearing me breathing. Anyways, one step closer. This is what I have here. Reason being is you beat the Packers. You are one step closer, not just to the division, but to the number 1 seed. The Bears control their own destiny here. Mm-hmm. You win out, you're the number 1 seed. You go 4-1, you're probably the number 1 seed. The Bears have a huge opportunity here, and this one gets them one step closer. So, hell of a headline by me.
You know what's wild too? Like, if the Bears win, you beat the Eagles on the road, you beat the Packers on the road. Your expectations now go from being, the start the season, it was like, hey, let's just get over 500. I'd be happy with that. Your expectations then shift to be like, oh my gosh, let's get to the playoffs if we can. Your expectations then, if you beat the Packers on the road, is we're a Super Bowl contender. You beat two top 5 teams, or at least the two of the top 3 teams in the NFC on the road, right? With the Packers and the Eagles back to back. The only one you haven't played is the Rams. You're not going to, but that
you own the tiebreaker.
That is real statement game saying, hey, no, we're no joke. Your expectations, and I'm sure in the locker room they're thinking Super Bowl or bust. But like from a fan perspective, it's like, no, this isn't just like, oh, we're playing with house money. This is saying, no, we are a damn good football team. Let's go get a Lombardi. So
I don't think the Bears are thinking Super Bowl. I don't. I think it's week 2. I think Ben Johnson have these guys just locked in.
Yep.
It's the Packers, and that's what I love about this team. So
how about this though? Maybe I'll rephrase it. They believe they can win. I think, especially if they win,
they can believe they win the game. Yeah. I think the Bears are the hunted, and that's very rare. They're playing. They have to play like that. They're probably still have that mentality where they're the underdogs to continue to be, overlooked, and I love it. And what they were saying last week heading out of Philly was, what are they going to say now? And so this is a huge opportunity for them. So
yeah, it's what a game, man. And what's sad or fun, I guess, is that you didn't have to do this again in 2 weeks. So it's Packers, Browns. Thankfully, you got no game's easy, but it's the Browns. And then you have Packers again, which is wild. So you win this one, it's basically you blink and you got to get ready to do it again. You lose this one, you got to forget it and you got to get ready to do it again at home. So it's going to be an interesting one for sure. But hey, that's the NFL. No games are easy. You got to earn it. Ben Johnson's talked about it, and this team has shown time and time again that they deserve to be in this position that they're at. So one more game, any given Sunday. Let's see what happens. Okay, good stuff. Let's go through a couple of the shout outs here like we always do. And if you want to get them in real quick, please do. If it's your first time, let us know. #NewFaceGang. If you're an OG, go ahead and give it OG in the chat. We'll make sure we shout you out right now. We do have Kyler with the #OG, #FGB. Bear down. Appreciate that, Kyler. We got JDI Maj, or J Damaj on YouTube said, let's go Bears. Cheers from Mexico City. Love that. First time watching you guys. Great work. Keep doing it. #first time here. Thank you, Jay Damaj. We really appreciate you being here for Bears Film Room, number 1 show for the fans, by the fans. The comments like this is what get me and Dave hyped, and we really appreciate it. Mexico City is also dope. I'd love to know, like, I know the NFL is definitely expanding big time. They played in Mexico this year, but I'd love to know, like, what's the biggest fan base down there? Is there a big Chicago Bears community down there? I would love to know that. But appreciate you hopping in and watching Bears Film Room. We really do appreciate all the support here. Let's see here. We got Jerome from Darien here with the #OG. Bears should have swept the Packers last year, if not blocked field goal. We have a real coach now. We're sweeping it this year. Love the confidence. Wish I could be there, but I love it. In Peril 34 on YouTube with the #OG. Caleb leads us on a game-winning drive is my hot take. I think that's every Bears dream. That's like what you want, right? Your quarterback goes down there and wins it for you. And he's been playing clutch in the 4th quarter, Mr. Iceman for a reason. So it's definitely possible. We got Eater Scott on YouTube said, sorry, I'm late, fam. #OG. Let's beat the Packers. I was born and raised in Wisconsin, so this matchup has a lot of trauma that comes with it for me. Ooh, in the enemy territory. We'll be sending out our thoughts and prayers to you, Eater. But yeah, that's a tough one. But thank you. Appreciate the OG here. And then let's see if we had some more that trickled in. We do. We got In Peril again here, which says #OG. LaFleur is 20-4 in the month of December. Oh, yeah, okay. But 5-4 with Love as the starter. Well, it's a lot easier when you have Aaron Rodgers in his prime, back-to-back MVP seasons. It's hard, you don't really lose much. But yeah, that's definitely a good call out there. We do have Cody. Oh, yeah.
No, I was gonna say there's one that says someone said my hat's too big. I've not gotten that I've worn this hat so many times. I had no idea. Maybe it's just I have the computer too close.
I think it fits.
That's hilarious.
That
from Carmichael.
I must have missed that one. I'll have to throw it out. We'll give a shout to them. But we got Cody Malachi here, 1356 on YouTube, said #OG. Oh, and we got TR Carmichael Dave. Maybe it's just Dave. That's probably what it is. He said Dave's hat is too big. Please get a different one.
That's crazy, man. All right.
Jack's burner, maybe. Who knows? Let's
he's sleeping.
Let's keep moving here. We got Joseph on YouTube. Said #OG. Do you guys think that Jade Walker will get a shot since Rome's going to be out Sunday? No, I do not think so. He is a special teamer for a reason. I think it's going to be. I mean, you have so many weapons. You still have Zacchaeus, right? Zacchaeus to slot. Luther probably takes in OZ's spot, but who knows? Maybe Ben Johnson's got something cooked up for him to kind of throw out.
We'll see.
To mix it up. We got Bro Cole here with the hashtag OG. Appreciate that, Bro Cole. Love the name. And then we got a mod on YouTube. Love these are the jerseys we need. The iced out ones. I know we're not getting those this year, but next year, December games.
Yeah, with Nike.
Game, I think Packers got an all white uni. And to be honest, they're kind of sick. We need one as well. But a mod on YouTube said, just started watching this show starting this year. LFG. Am I an OG? Yes, you are. You've been watching us. It's not your first time. You're an OG. And all it takes is more than one episode or any type of support. It's a very quick transition from a first-time listener to an OG. So we really do appreciate all you. Bro, this is sorry. Last one, Dave. Does Dave have an extra large forehead as a friend? He does not. It's a normal.
Stop bringing his comments up. No, I'm just kidding, dude.
Sorry, these are
the first time I've gotten it. I'm gonna keep wearing it. It's one of my favorite hats. So
I'm saying normally you get like so much love for the hat. So
there you guys go. I'll do the show like this.
No, Dave, I can put it on record. Dave does not have a Peyton Manning forehead. It is normal sized. So
I have a normal sized head too. Y'all are keeping me like this the rest of the show.
Yeah, that is hilarious. You guys are hilarious. This is why we do this show. You guys are fantastic. Yeah, and then Ryan Reeves is like, yeah, I need that hat back in stock. Yeah, I was going to say, it's like the common theme of every show. People love that hat. So, okay, we got a couple questions here. We'll run through them real quick. But Hendricks on YouTube said, since Rome is out, is Jade Walker in? We just talked about I don't think so. But who knows, right? We can see. And then let's see if we got another question. Oh, from Jimmy Hoffa on YouTube said, are y'all not concerned about Josh Jacobs? Yes, he can always go off, but he hasn't been having as great as a year as last year. Last year, he was dominant. This year, he's had some injuries, so maybe that's playing a part. And we've talked about it. Their offensive line is not as strong because they've had a lot of injuries. So the run game has been affected. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm not worried about Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has been a top 10 running back since he's been in the NFL. So, you have any thoughts on that? How worried are you?
No, it's just Josh Jacobs. I mean, I'm worried, but he scores. Yeah, that's what got me laughing, dude. This is crazy way to end the show. They're actually cracking me up though. That is hilarious, they're funny. Scott.
They're funny.
Guardian cap.
The Guardian cap's hilarious. That is a wild comment.
Oh my goodness. My self-esteem. Thank you guys.
Bring us back down.
No, I love it, dude.
Game isn't enough to beat us.
I like to joke. I like to like roast myself. So these are hilarious.
They're hilarious.
But I'm not worried about Josh Jacobs. He is a really good back. The Packers running game is, it is good. Like I said, they average about 4 yards a pop. So it's nothing like they don't get the big runs like Swift and even Monangai where they can get 20-yard chunks. But I think they do score a lot of touchdowns. I think Josh Jacobs averages like a touchdown a game is what I saw in one of the comments.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, when they get in the red zone, probably going to run it. We'll see, man. Like I said, as long as the Bears can, some of these playmakers, like a Micah Parsons, even Jordan Love, they're going to make plays. You just got to limit them as much as possible to win this game. So not scared of Josh Jacobs. If I'm scared of anyone, it's Micah. It's Micah. So
for me, it's Jordan Love because when he's hot, I mean, Micah too as well, but like Jordan Love, when Jordan Love plays his best, he plays like a future Hall of Fame quarterback. But Jordan Love will also play a shitter game. And I'm hoping we get a shitter game of Jordan Love instead of the Hall of Fame version. So
Wicks is a good receiver too. He made a couple nice catches.
He went crazy last week.
Fourth and goal, and then he had the icing. He iced the game with that insane fourth down catch where it's basically a jump ball.
Yeah.
But I trust in Deshaun Wright if he's there to, I like my chances there. So we'll just have to wait and see.
It's going to be interesting. Again, these are the summary of this show is that these are two really good teams, and it could go either way. And that's what makes it nerve-wracking because we haven't had a game in a while where the Packers sucked and we just walk in and feel like, oh, yeah, we can mollywop them. That's never the case. They've had a lot of the other, the reverse where they're much better than us and they can beat us. But this is going to be interesting. It's probably their best chance going in, like on paper, for a chance to steal one on the road. So I'm excited. All right, let's get to speaking of winning. Let's give a shout out to our winners. First off, we got to give a shout out to our Pick'em League winner of November. This is for our Grizzly members in our Discord, the contest we have going on there. So shout out to Gage, our Hall of Fame Grizzly member. He won a gift card to the BFR store. So hats off to you. Great stuff in that competition. And then for our Discord, which again, you can join free, we have a score predictions contest, which we have like a good amount of people participate in this. We got to give a shout out to Muck. By the way, I think Muck has won like 3 times. So it's between him and the guy who won last week, Pearl Deck Nibbert. So there's going to be a special prize at the end too, to see who comes out on top as like the overall winner. But shout out to y'all. You also won a gift card to the BFR store. And then of course we got to give a shout out to our Patreon members like we do every episode. And we have a new one this week. So special shout out to Ryan Reeves. Saw him on Twitter commenting in the chat. So shout out to you, my man. But also we got to give a shout out to Michael from across the pond. Gage, again, shout out for you winning the contest. We got Phil, we got Michael Berry, we got Angie. We need a voicemail from Angie because I need to see how her vibes are now. I'd love to see the transition from where she was to how excited she is now. Daniel Jones from across the pond. Thomas, Tito, who's in the chat. Thank you for the super chat as well. Reminder, we got our call tomorrow. And then we got Dave and Jerome from Darien. So shout out to our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. You guys are fantastic. And hopefully we can see all, what is that, like 12 of y'all on the call tomorrow? That should be awesome. It's been such a good time. And then we also have to give a shout out to our rookie Grizzlies as well. I saw Alex in the chat, so shout out to you. Chris, Ethan, we got Caleb, we got Jason, and we got Megan as well. I appreciate all the support from all of y'all. Shout out to Megan. She won, I believe, the new merch. She won the new Bear logo, the Chrome tee. So for being in the Patreon, and again, we give away merch all the time on there. We do contests monthly. We have our calls in there as well. Me and Dave give away so much stuff in there. So if you want to join, go ahead. A lot of times you're getting free. Actually, you get free stuff just by joining. When you join, we got like free iPhone background of Caleb. That's kind of dope. We got this like history of the Bears PDF that we built in there. You can get that for free. And then every month we're giving away shit. So why not join? It's fun. We're building a community. It's awesome. And if you don't want to on the Patreon, totally fine. Join the Discord at least. That is literally free. You don't have to pay for anything in there. Great conversations in there. We run contests in there all as well. So just a great community of people, and we're trying to watch it grow. So, okay. Anything else? We're going to get to our voicemails, and then we'll close out the show.
No, let's get to the voicemails, and we'll get on out of here.
Now, just for reference here, these are in regards to last week's game. They came in like while we were doing the show live, so I didn't see them. But these should be talking about the big win in Philly. So we have Sam and we have Chris, and we'll start with Sam here.
Gentlemen, straight to the point. That is a statement game through and through. Nobody believed in us except us, and we made a statement with this one. Shout out to Dennis Allen for doing what he does with the players that he has. It's absolutely incredible week in and week out. I will say, just to pump the brakes a little bit, I love where this team is. 9-3 is incredible. The offense has me slightly concerned. We have got to clean stuff up if we want to compete at the next level in the playoffs. But for now, bear down.
What a way to end it. So calm and collective until like the last 2 seconds. Appreciate that, Sam. Appreciate that, Sam, from our Twitter group, by the way, Dave. Okay, we got Chris here to end it here.
Hell yeah, Jack, Ficky, Drake, it's Chris. Bear down, baby, bear down. Let's do it. Let's get in the playoffs. Let's beat these teams. I don't see another loss rest of the season. What a running game. Oh, my God. I can't take it. It's so good. It's so good. Bear down. Love you guys. Keep up the good work. Best podcast ever. Bear down.
Appreciate that, man. It is so interesting seeing people with a positive reaction after wins. No. Yo, the chat won. No, you let them win. No, that's funny.
We'll see what they.
I like the hat, but that's okay.
I'm gonna wear. I'm just being funny here. Yeah, that's one of my favorite hats.
Well, we got some new hats.
I might just not wear a hat. I guess. On this damn show.
I need one, to be honest. I was looking for one and I couldn't find one, but we actually have some new BFR hats coming in. So you might see us rocking some new stuff, which is going to be really exciting. Excited to see what those look like. But yeah, appreciate those. Sam, Chris, what a great way to celebrate that win, and what a great way to end the episode. Let me just go through the comments real quick to make sure there's not anything else.
Yeah. What I'll say is if you want to do your voicemail, or if you want to hear yourself on the show, it's on the screen. You can go to our Twitter, hit the link in our Twitter bio, and you'll see the voicemail. It's really as easy as just you take your phone, you hit the record, you say what you need to say, about 30 seconds, and then you send it in, and we'll play it as long as you get it in. Probably about 20 minutes after the show is where we cut it off. If we don't hear, if you get it in, we'll play it the next episode. So, anything else, Fick?
No, I think it's great. We love those voicemails. Again, it's free. You can do it there. Just a final, again, plug for us. We got the BFR store where you can get some hats. If you don't like Dave's hat, you want to rock your own, we got some fire hats on the BFR store. You can join the Patreon. We have our Patreon call tomorrow. So for our Hall of Fame Grizzly members, It is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Central time. The link is in our Discord. It's on the Patreon as well. You can see the most recent post, so you can check it out there. We're excited to see all 12 of y'all, I believe, in there. It keeps growing. You guys are awesome. And then also join the Discord. It is free. Link in the description. We have contests going on there all the time. There's a bunch of great chat and community. Some people already leading the charge in the conversations, which I love. I think we got like 250 members in there. So we're consistently growing in there, and we're just trying to build out a community because this is the Bears Film Room podcast, which makes us different than the other podcasts out there, is that this is the number one show. That's right. The number one show for the fans, by the fans, because Dave and I, though we cover the team, we are fans just like y'all. We're going to have our heart medication next to us during this game because we get just as nervous and get just as disappointed and get just as excited as y'all do when you watch these games and what this team does to us emotionally. So this number one show for the fans, by the fans. So we want to make sure we're building a community that puts the fans forward, because that's what it's all about. That's what this team's about, and that's what BFR is about. So we appreciate all the love and support for the show, all the voicemails, all the chats, super chats. If you just listen to podcasts, right? If you support on YouTube, liking and subscribing, everything and anything between, we just want to thank y'all. Cool.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, we will be back tomorrow late. The game's at 3:25. We'll probably be getting we'll be go live right after the game, so probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So again, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified. We appreciate the support. It's a big one, playoff game tomorrow. So get some good rest, some good sleep, and we'll see you, like I said, right after the game. So bear down.
Peace.